for great desire I had to see fair Padua, the nursery of arts. I am arrived in fruitful Lombardy, the fresh garden of Italy, and by my father's leave, by my father's love and leave am armed, with his good and thy good company. My trusty servant, well approved in all, here let us breathe and happily institute a course of great learning. Piece of renown for its grave citizens gave me my being and my father first, a merchant of great traffic through the world. Vicentio, come of Bentivoli, Vicentio's son, brought up in Florence, it shall become to serve all hope conceived, and to deck his fortune with his virtuous deeds, and therefore, Tranio, for the time I study. Virtue that in parts of philosophy, and will I apply the treats of happiness, by virtue specially to be achieved, and am to Padua come, and as that he leaves, and shallow plash to plunge himself in the deep, and with satiety seeks to quench his thirst.
Mi perdonito, gentle mastermind. I am in all affected as yourself, glad that you thus continue your resolve to suck the sweets of sweet philosophy. Only, good master, we do admire this virtue and this moral discipline. Let's be no Stoics or no Stocks, I pray, or so devout to Aristotle's cheeks as Ovid be an outcast, quite abjured Bach logic, with acquaintance, that you have and practice rhetoric in your common talk, music and posse, used to quicken you, the math and the metaphysics. Fall to them as you find your stomach serves you. No profit grows where is no pleasure. Taheen, in brief, sir, study what you most affect.
Gramercies, Tranio, well dost thou advise. If Biondello thou wert came ashore, we could at once put us in readiness, and take a lodging fit to entertain such friends as time in Padua shall best. But stay a while. What company is this?
Gentlemen, importune me no further, for how I firmly am resolved you know, that is not to bestow my youngest daughter before I have a husband for the elder. If either of you both love Caterina, because I know you well and love you well, leave shall have you court her at your pleasure.
To court her, rather. She's too rough for me. There, Hortensio. Will you any wife?
I pray you, sir, is it your will to make a stale of me amongst these mates?
Mates, maid, how say you? Unless you were of gentler, milder mold.
I face, sir, is it you will never need to fear, but if I wish it is halfway to a hurt, but if it were, doubt not her care should be, to comb your noddle with a three-legged stool, and use your face, and paint your face, my bad, and use you like a fool.
From all such evils, deliver us, good Lord. Me too, good Lord.
Hush, master, here comes some good pastime toward.
But in the other silence do I see a maid's mild behavior and sobriety. Peace, Tranio.
Well said, Mom. And gaze your fill.
Gentlemen, that I soon make good what I have said, Bianca, get you in, and let it not displease thee, good Bianca, for I will love thee ne'ertheless, my girl.
A pretty Pete, it is best to put a finger in your eye and she knew why.
Sister, content with my discontent? Sir, to you I humbly subscribe. My books and my instruments shall be my only company, and on them to look and practice by myself.
Signor Baptista, will you be so strange? Why will you Why will you mute her up, Signor Baptista, for this fiend of hell, and make her bear the penance of her tongue?
Gentlemen, content ye, I am resolved. Go in, Bianca. And for I know she taketh most delight in music, instruments, and poetry. Schoolmasters will I keep within my house, fit to instruct her youth. If you, Hortensio, or Signor Gremio, you know any such, prefer them hither, for to cunning men I will be very kind and liberal, to my own children in good bringing up, and so farewell. Caterina, you may stay, for I have more to commune with Bianca.
Why, and I trust I may go to, may I not? What shall I be appointed hours as thou be like? I knew not what to take, or what to leave.
So we are here today to talk about Act 1, Scene 1, well, the majority of it, which is our scene. We are also gathered by Kylie's Skype presence. Hi, Kylie.
Hey, Kylie.
Going right into the scene, the very first two people to talk are Lucentio and Tranio, and they have very lengthy parts where Lucentio first talks about how excited he is to be starting anew and going to a university. There's a lot of use of visual imagery, sensory imagery.
Yes, I see.
Like, for example, I have arrived for Fruitful Lombardi, stuff like that really, or like, and with satiety seeks to quench his thirst. Like, he's very passionate about his studies. And
Is that why he did a monologue?
from this, you get a lot
Show his
of,
passion.
you get a immediate summary of Lucentio, and that's that he's a very passionate man, and we will see that later in the story with how he deals with Bianca and how he really that relationship develops. And
Yes.
And Lucentio we'll find later in the scene and then later in the show. Just as Bianca is Catherine's foil, Lucentio is the foil of Petruchio. They're just completely opposites. Lucentio's really lovesick. He's, a big believer in, studying and schooling and the arts and everything about the kind of more, I would say, not materialistic world, but like, the romantic world.
Yes,
and he believes in marrying for love, whereas, Petruchio is the exact opposite of him. He is obsessed with, just wealth and just materialistic
he's very much a part of the
Let me-
whole social norm.
Also, he's very nice, refreshing from all the other male characters being suiting Bianca. As my character Gremio, he is very disrespectful to women, but and really only sees Bianca like almost dehumanizing her, seeing her as an object of lust. Whereas Lucentio, really, you could see his love for her. So enough about Lucentio as a suitor for Bianca. Let's talk about Gremio and Hortensio. So Kylie, do you have any input on Hortensio?
Hortensio is obviously interested in Bianca, as is Gremio, and they're both kind of like friendly, fighting with each other for Bianca's love and affection, although later on she does end up marrying Lucentio because she's got the hots for him and not Hortensio or Gremio, which is awful for them, but it allows in this scene for Hortensio to have like the breakthrough of realizing, well, hey, if we want to marry Bianca, we got to get Catherine a husband. But then they're like, well, who wants to marry Catherine? She's a shrew, like a woman with her own opinions. How awful. So anyway, they're like, well, who can we even find? And they're kind of like brainstorming that, and they're realizing, well, we need somebody to love Catherine in order for us to possibly even have a chance with Bianca. And basically that's the role that Hortensio is playing in this scene with Gremio and with Catherine. Yep.
On the other hand of Gremio, or Hortensio, we have Gremio, who also treats women like objects. And one of the lines that really struck me is, to cart her rather, she's too rough for me. Just judging her right off the bat, he's saying he would never even like think about dating her. He wouldn't even open himself to the possibility of it, which I don't know. Very rude. Also, he calls her a fiend of hell, and if that doesn't say anything about him and the suitors and most of them and what they're looking for, I don't know what does.
Throughout the play, especially Gremio and Hortensio, they always go to the idea of trying to gain that ideal wife. That's what they desire like most, and you can really see that especially in the first act where they compare Bianca and Katharina and how different they are, and how Bianca is much so better in class and like attitude than Katharina is.
Yeah, it's because they feel like they can. It's easy to control her, whereas Catherine is, will take work.
A shrew, and she needs to be tamed.
And I think it says a lot about the measure of a man, the way he treats a woman like that, maybe some insecurities or something that
You might be
could
compensating
contribute
for
to that.
something.
I don't know. That's just me, but
Like, if Katharina's attitude is in a girl today, how do you think guys of today's society?
Well, I think it would be a less extreme version, because men like to prove their masculinity, and they like to, feel like a man, pretty much, and that's what society views men as. But it's to less of a degree, because now they're more accepted, and women are allowed to have their own opinions, frankly.
And
But I think that still is there, the fact that
pressure to be the breadwinner.
yeah, breadwinner, and then also like with girls is like you have there's like certain rules in society, like things that you can and cannot do because they're considered like men's things, and even how like now there's still like less women in the STEM fields because those are seen as like men's professions, and like guys aren't interested in powerful women and because they're scared of them.
I want to know Kylie's opinions on this topic, so
back to
Kylie.
Even though Catherine has this kind of personality that makes Gremio and Hortensio so like rude to her, and how everyone is basically rude to Catherine, she's still special in her own way. Like, she deserves better. I feel like as a character, she does really like develop throughout the whole play, and that really makes her the main character of the whole play. That's why she's so unique and not a static character.
Yeah, and it's this kind of fire that like makes it so sad when finally she gives up, in my opinion, in the end, because she feels that there's no way she can get out of this, and that's what like you root for her throughout the whole book or the play, and then she finally, it doesn't end up how you think it would.
The line that really made me root for her and be like, hey, this is, well, I mean the whole thing, but this is like terrible what they're doing, is I pray you, sir, is it your will to make me a stale amongst these mates? This line just really struck at home. Like, is it like, because while it is society standard to get a woman who is like easily tamed and easily like controlled, like she doesn't see it that way, and she thinks that he's just like making a fool of her basically, and I totally agree, and that really struck deep.
And you kind of feel bad for her at certain points, like when Baptista tells her to stay when everyone else is leaving, and she says that, why, and I trust I may go too, may I not. You kind of feel that she's feeling left out, even though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that, I think we run out of time. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Look forward to talking to you next time.